Most people will never be wealthy, not because they weren't born with the right name, not because they didn't go to the right school, and not because the system is against them, but because they are trapped in a mindset forged not by truth, but by fear, a quiet, invisible fear that whispers like a lullaby in the back of their minds. Stay safe. Don't risk too much. Play it smart. Be grateful for what you have. And so, the average person trades freedom for security, time for money, and potential for comfort, all while convincing themselves it's the responsible thing to do. But let me ask you something: if the path everyone is on leads to mediocrity, why are you still walking it? The bitter truth is this: most people are not taught to be wealthy, they're trained to be obedient, they're trained to be consumers, they're trained to be afraid of failing more than they desire to succeed, and in that training, they become spectators of life. Not players. The mindset prison. From the moment you're old enough to hold a pencil, you're told, get good grades. Follow instructions. Raise your hand for permission. That's not education. That's domestication, and when it comes to money, you're taught to save it. But never how to grow it, to work for it. But never how to make it work for you. You are told, a job is security. But security without freedom is a cage. Henry Ford once said, thinking is the hardest work there is, which is probably the reason why so few engage in it. And the hard thinking, it's not about solving algebra problems, it's about breaking the chains of mental conformity, about questioning everything society says is normal. Debt is normal, overtime is normal, living paycheck to paycheck while pretending you're fine, is normal, but wealth is not normal, because wealth requires you to unlearn everything you were taught in school. And everything your parents were taught before you. The fear of risk. You want to know why most people never get wealthy? Because they're terrified of losing. They're taught that failing is a death sentence, when in reality, it's a compass. It's how you learn where the gold is buried. Thomas Edison failed 10,000 times before the light bulb. Do you think he saw failure as failure, or as feedback? The poor and middle class fear losing money. The wealthy fear wasting time. They know money is a tool, a servant, not a master, but for most people, the fear of risk outweighs the promise of reward. They say things like, what if it doesn't work? What if I lose everything? But what they should be asking is, what if I never try? What if I waste my life playing it safe and die with my potential still locked inside me? Warren Buffett once said, the biggest risk is not taking any risk. Comfort zones are where dreams go to die, and most people have built a mansion inside their comfort zone. And they never leave. Clarity and vision. Wealth doesn't come to those who chase money, it comes to those who chase vision. Clarity is power. When your vision is clear, decisions become easy. When your purpose is strong, your fears grow weak. Most people drift through life like a ship without a rudder. They go wherever the current takes them. School, job, bills, taxes, retirement. No direction. No aim. Just motion without meaning. But the wealthy, they are intentional. They design their life like an architect designs a cathedral, with precision. With imagination. With belief. Disney was fired from a newspaper job for lacking imagination. They didn't see his vision. But he did. He once said, if you can dream it, you can do it. And he did, because his vision was louder than the noise of doubt. Discipline and action. Dreams are cheap, talk is everywhere, but discipline? That's rare. Wealth doesn't respond to what you want, it responds to what you're willing to do, every day, without applause. Andrew Carnegie worked 12-hour days before he ever made a dime in steel. He mastered his mind before he mastered his fortune, because discipline is the bridge between desire and destiny. While most are waiting for the right time, the wealthy are making time. While others hit snooze, they hit the ground running. While the world scrolls, they study. While others spend, they invest. Discipline is saying no 1,000 times to say yes to your future once. It's refusing to let the world dull your edge. Gratitude and growth. But don't get it twisted. Wealth is not about greed. True wealth begins with gratitude, because gratitude unlocks growth. You cannot expand from a place of lack. You must start from abundance. Even if you have only your mind, your breath, and your will, that's enough. Carnegie gave away 90% of his wealth to build libraries and schools, not because he had to, but because he knew. Wealth without contribution is poverty in disguise. Gratitude grounds you, it reminds you that every moment is an opportunity, that no matter how far you have to go, you've already begun. Adaptability and learning. The wealthy are not the strongest, they're not even always the smartest, but they are the most adaptable. When the rules change, they don't panic, they pivot. When others complain, they innovate. Kodak invented the digital camera and then killed it to protect film. They refused to adapt, and they died. Meanwhile, Amazon was selling books in a garage and is now the heartbeat of global commerce. Why? Adaptability. Vision. Execution. Most people cling to what they know, the wealthy embrace what they can learn. They are lifetime students. They seek mentors, books, courses, conversations, because they know the mind is the real estate that builds empires. As Napoleon Hill said, whatever the mind can conceive and believe, it can achieve. But only if you keep feeding that mind, keep stretching it, keep risking ignorance to gain wisdom, resilience, and rebirth. And here's the most brutal truth of all: even if you do everything right, you will still be tested, you will fail, you will be ridiculed, you will face nights of doubt and days of despair. But those who rise, they become unbreakable. Lincoln lost election after election. Until he didn't, he faced tragedy, defeat, betrayal, yet still led a nation through its darkest hour. Why? Because resilience isn't found in the good times, it's forged in the fire. It's born when you are knocked flat on the ground and still choose to rise. Most people, they stay down, they accept average, they rationalize mediocrity, but the wealthy, they use the pain, they turn it into purpose, they don't bounce back, they rebuild better. The final truth. So why will most people never be wealthy? Because wealth demands more than ambition, it demands transformation, a rebirth of thought, a revolution of habits, a refusal to settle for the ordinary. You will not find wealth in the comfort of routine, you will not stumble into fortune by accident. You must become the kind of person who attracts wealth. Because of who you are: relentless, grateful, disciplined, visionary, adaptable, unshakable. You must abandon the illusion of safety. For the promise of freedom, you must stop trading your time for money. And start building a life that pays you back even while you sleep. You must stop asking for permission. And start taking ownership, because no one is coming to save you, no one is going to hand you the keys. You have to break the cycle, you have to shatter the old beliefs, you have to become the exception. In a world addicted to average, the doors are open, the tools are here, but the question remains: will you stay in the crowd, or will you rise and become one of the few who choose to be wealthy? The choice is yours, and it always has been. Thanks for watching.